Good evening and welcome to ABC 31 News Tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. Deputies are investigating a case of burglary and criminal damage at Tioga High School and Tioga Junior High. Details from deputies in tonight's big story.
Once they got there and saw the amount of damage, it was quite evident this was a major crime of criminal damage. And our detectives called out our crime scene unit. They came. They gathered evidence, and both the Tioga High School and Tioga Junior High were broken into. At this time, it is still an ongoing investigation, and we don't have a whole lot of other information. The damage that we were advised of is a lot of broken glass, trophy cases, mirrors. Our deputy school resource officer, his office was even broken into, and all of his personal effects were broken. This was military awards and shadow boxes and things of this nature. So this is a terrible crime. Anytime you attack a school like this, it's just uncalled for.
The investigation is still ongoing, and we're told there is no further information at this time. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is blanketing southeastern states with information on the remains of a child found in Lebanon County, Pennsylvania back in 1973. The group says the remains are of a white female, possibly of southeastern European descent, about 16 to 19 years old and about 5'5" to 5'8". They believe she was born and raised somewhere in the southeastern U.S., including possibly Louisiana. If you do recognize this face, please call authorities. The remains were found on the Edward Martin Military Reserve in Fort Indiantown Gap. Defense attorneys for Derek Stafford are using witnesses to paint a different picture of their client from the one described by the prosecution. And they're trying to show that Stafford, a deputy city marshal, acted in self-defense in November when he killed a 6-year-old boy and wounded the child's father after a chase on a one-way street. Stafford is charged with murder and attempted murder. His co-defendant will stand trial next month, and the state rested their case late yesterday. The city of Alexandria is celebrating the one-year anniversary of DG Hunter Power Plant, Units 5 through 11. The celebration also includes the official implementation of the Alexandria utility system, welcoming a new era of smart energy policies and resilience for the central Louisiana community. We're coming off another hot and humid day. With what we can expect tonight, here's Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers with your weather now.
Hey Scott, yeah, definitely seeing some nice warm temperatures once again. Those highs into the mid-80s here late this afternoon. We'll keep the warm weather around as we get into your Friday. Bring a few more clouds in though. We'll see mostly cloudy skies expected. By late in the afternoon, may see some isolated storms. Looks like the best chance of storms really come in overnight Friday night and then through early Saturday morning. And some of those storms could still be strong to severe. Damaging winds and hail the primary threat with some of those storms. So you definitely need to be weather aware overnight Friday night and then early on Saturday. And then by the time we get to Sunday, we do clear the storms out of here, bring some warm weather right back into the area. Mid to upper 80s expected on Sunday afternoon before another round of showers and thunderstorms comes through early next week. Now here's our surface map for your Friday. Again, seeing the threat of severe weather to our west through much of the day on Friday. Again, very warm, very humid air starting to make its way into this area. And so eastern Texas all the way into parts of western Arkansas and eastern parts of Oklahoma. That's the threat of severe weather on Friday. But that shifts a little bit further to the east Friday night. And that brings us right into that mix of things where you could see some damaging winds, some hail, and some possibility of flash flooding too with some of the gusty winds and the heavy rain that could possibly fall Friday night into early Saturday. So we'll talk more about that with your full forecast coming up in just a few more minutes.
Thank you, Chris. A meeting today at the Bentley Hotel discussed bringing the Louisiana High School Athletic Association Top 28 tournaments to the Rapides Parish Coliseum. Bringing these tournaments to the Coliseum can provide a number of positive impacts on the city.
It's a great venue for all sports, all activities. One of the things that's real important is that it's complete now and that we've had basketball been playing there. But one of the most important reasons why we're here today, because over the last 3.5 years, we have worked toward bringing the Louisiana High School Athletic Association Top 28 tournament here back to Central Louisiana, along with working toward bringing the Sweet 16 and other sports. And so we are moving forward in that direction, moving forward, looking toward going out for the bids. Our goal is to lead the way. Our goal is to work toward bringing all sports that we can back to Alexandria, Louisiana, Central Louisiana, and Rapides Parish, because it's important. It's important for economic growth and development. It's important for the things that we like to do for our community.
The city of Alexandria will take its bids to the Louisiana High School Athletic Association in Baton Rouge to try and host some of those top 28 tournaments. Alma Redwine Elementary School is conducting its second annual Career Week. The children have been learning about a number of different career fields and heard from a CLECO representative today. Students asked questions about what they need to do to be successful and shared what they aspire to be later in life. 2 local principals are being inducted into the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame after years of playing and coaching.
I played basketball and baseball and had a good career in both sports. So got that and then moved into the coaching ranks and had some good years there too.
Well, I'm going to be the first inductee for the sport of powerlifting in the state of Louisiana. And it was just recognized as the LSHA sport 4 years ago. And we've been powerlifting, though, for over 35 years. And it's a great honor.
For more information, you can visit the Louisiana High School Athletic Association website. Alexandria Country Day School is applauding Sarah and Noah Gadd. They brought home awards from the State Science Fair. Sarah earned 5 major awards, including first places in environmental engineering and environmental awareness. She's a 7th grader. Noah, who is a 6th grader, placed 3rd in the chemical energy category. If you're looking for transitional plants that can survive remaining freezes, but also stand up to that hot weather, Calibrachoa might be a good choice. They're not petunias, but these hardy perennials look a lot like petunias. On this edition of Get It Growing, LSU Ag Center horticulturist Dan Gill explains why Calibrachoa is a good choice to plant in your garden now.
I occasionally get gardening questions from gardeners about those little petunias they're seeing in the local nurseries these days. Well, actually, they're not little petunias. They're a different plant altogether. Now, here you see petunias, and we've used petunias in our flower beds for years and years and years. They're reliable and a really nice choice. But the plant that you're seeing that has smaller flowers is a different plant called Calibrachoa. And these Calibrachoas are relatively newer on the scene, but they're a delightful plant just like the petunias are. Now you can see the flowers are smaller, the leaves are smaller, and they also have a spreading habit kind of like petunias do, but usually more compact. This one's a really delightful one right here that's just come onto the market. It's called Lemon Slice. It has this bicolor yellow and white flower that I think is going to be really popular. Now you can see this probably more clearly as I move back here to these hanging baskets. Again, this is the petunia hanging basket. You can see the larger flowers and leaves, and this is Calibrachoa. You can see again the smaller leaves and the smaller flowers, but they're really grown very much the same way. They like a nice sunny situation, and they're great for this time of the year because in March we're transitioning from the cooler weather of winter to the warmer weather of summer. And this time of the year we can still have some light freezes occurring. These petunias and Calibrachoas are hardy down into the 20s, so even if we should have a late freeze, they'll survive and do quite well. So if you're thinking about something nice to put in the garden right now that can take some late freezes, Calibrachoas and petunias, 2 great choices. For Get It Growing, I'm Dan Gill with the LSU Ag Center.
For more information on other lawn and garden topics, call your parish's LSU Ag Center Extension Service Office or visit the LSU Ag Center website at lsuagcenter.com and click on the Lawn and Garden button.
Only one doctor brings health right to your home. Dr. Oz.
Every day is a new chance for change, and everyone can start right now.
With all new ways to feel encouraged, inspired, hopeful, confident, proud, positive, special, feel better every day. Make an appointment with Dr. Oz. Check in for your daily checkup.
Dr. Oz, airing weekdays at 11 on KLAX TV.
With ISIS now claiming responsibility for the terror attack in London, we are learning new information about the attacker and the victims, including an American from Utah. So far, British officials say 4 people were killed and at least 29 others injured. The suspect was also killed in the attack, and raids across the UK have led to 8 arrests. ABC's Molly Hunter is in London with the latest.
Tonight, London is paying tribute to the victims, honoring those killed, including 48-year-old police officer Keith Palmer, stabbed by the attacker.
Doing a job he loved and protecting our city, protecting Parliament.
And this man from Utah, Kurt Cochran, he was in Europe celebrating his 25th wedding anniversary with his wife, Melissa.
The only word I could really describe it as is surreal. One thing I could say about Kurt and his legacy, though, is he he did live his dream.
Kurt's wife, Melissa, is among the dozens injured.
We are not afraid, and our resolve will never waver in the face of terrorism.
Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Theresa May is defiant, responding to ISIS claiming responsibility for the attack, calling the suspect a soldier of the Islamic State. The suspect, caught in this surveillance video, driving a gray Hyundai across a packed bridge, aiming for pedestrians, mowing them down, then crashing into a railing outside Parliament. Before fleeing his car, he was shot and killed by police. He has now been identified as Khalid Massoud, a 52-year-old born in Britain with a lengthy criminal history, but none terrorism-related, police say. They believe Massoud was a lone wolf, confirming he was known to domestic intelligence but was not on their radar at the time of the attack. And the language ISIS used in that claim indicates the attack was inspired but not directed by ISIS. Molly Hunter, ABC News, London.
In Washington, President Trump continues to defend his wiretapping claims, now saying he feels somewhat vindicated. This follows remarks from a top lawmaker on the House Intelligence Committee, telling reporters that surveillance of the Trump team may have happened. ABC's Elizabeth Herr is in New York with the story.
The debate over President Trump's wiretapping claims growing louder on Capitol Hill.
What I've read bothers me.
Congressman Devin Nunes, the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee and a member of the Trump transition team, revealing U.S. intelligence officials may have inadvertently but legally picked up the communications of President Trump's transition team, possibly even the president himself, during the surveillance of foreign nationals.
From what I know right now, it looks like incidental collection. We don't know exactly how that was picked up, but we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
According to Nunes, this is not related to the FBI's ongoing investigation into the campaign in Russia. The president still calling it somewhat vindication for his unsubstantiated Twitter claims that President Obama wiretapped him.
Do you feel vindicated by Chairman Nunes?
I somewhat do. I must tell you, I somewhat do.
The president later telling Time magazine the FBI director's testimony that his wiretapping claims were baseless did not change a thing based on articles he read, ending that interview saying, quote, "I can't be doing so badly because I'm president and you're not."
You really have to scratch your head as to why the most powerful person in the world is relying on some article instead of from the horse's mouth.
There is still no evidence that the president was wiretapped by his predecessor.
For now, Nunes is not sharing where he got this intelligence, but according to Democrats on the committee, he has apologized for going to the White House and the press before telling the committee's top Democrat. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
We continue to have warmer than expected temperatures for this time of year.
We're definitely seeing some very nice warm temperatures out there, more summer-like than spring-like here across parts of central Louisiana. 84 degrees are high today. That's 11 degrees above that normal of 73. A little bit shy of the record, though, 91, the record high from 1907. And the warm weather continues into the weekend, but the threat of rain returns too as we get closer to Saturday. And we'll talk more about that when we come back.
Stay connected with KLAX ABC 31. Visit us online anytime. Get today's top stories and trending topics. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. See our pics on Instagram. Watch us on YouTube. And make KLAXTV.com your home for local news and information. Plus, download the KLAX weather app for your smartphone or tablet. Get live current conditions, radar maps, alerts, and more. More ways to stay connected with KLAX TV.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Thursday evening to some beautiful weather out there once again today. Temperatures above average into the low to mid 80s in most areas late this afternoon. Now, we do see a system off to our west, now getting into just the parts of Texas right now. And as it continues to push to the east, it's going to bring a few more clouds with it for your Friday. Could also see a few isolated storms around Friday afternoon. I think the best chance of storms comes into our area overnight tomorrow night and early on Saturday morning. We could see some gusty winds, some hail, and some heavy rain with some of the storms that do develop. It will become partly sunny on your Saturday. Still pretty warm, though, upper 70s to low 80s. It looks like a very warm day. As we head into our Sunday, we'll see temperatures back into the low to mid 80s Sunday afternoon with a mixture of some sun and clouds, but also see some more rain chances early next week. It looks like a very active weather pattern here over the next several weeks or so, even looking into the long range term as far as into even the month of April. Looking like we could see several inches or several areas of storms come through the region about every other day the way it looks right now. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on this active weather pattern here the next few weeks. Here's a look at our system as we look at it on Friday then. Again, seeing it get into parts of Texas today and now eventually moving into eastern Texas by the time we get to Friday afternoon. Again, most of the severe weather will stay to our west on Friday. You can see us just in the very warm weather here in central Louisiana. But as that system gets a little bit closer then Friday night into early Saturday, that's when we get the slight risk of severe weather here in parts of Louisiana. Right now, damaging winds and hail, the primary threats. The tornado threat is very low for us, but also could see some flash flooding with some of the heavy rain that could be possible with some of the storms. So need to be weather aware Friday night. So as you head off to bed, make sure you have that weather radio handy and make sure it has batteries in it too, or have your phone handy. I know you can get a lot of warnings on your phone too. Could most likely be overnight Friday night into early Saturday when we see the brunt of the severe weather here in central Louisiana. Outside for your Friday, then we'll get just cloudy skies, maybe a little shower activity late in the day. High temperature reaching 78 degrees on Friday. Right now we're at 81 with mostly sunny skies across our area. Again, temperatures are staying pretty warm. Our dew point at 53. Got to get that dew point up a little bit more to get some moisture into the air, and we'll do that tomorrow. South-southeast winds currently 14 miles per hour. Here's your high temperatures from today. Again, mid-80s across much of Louisiana. 86 degrees Baton Rouge, 86 degrees Monroe. We saw a high today of 84 here in Alexandria. So 64 degrees, those clouds increasing overnight as you'll see southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Could see a shower or two late in the day. Again, best chance of rain comes in overnight tomorrow night. 78 degrees, so not quite as warm as today with all the clouds around, and south-southeast winds of up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. Now for your Saturday, could see a few strong to severe storms around early in the day. Again, damaging winds, hail, heavy rain, the possibilities. Now early next week, more threat of rain. Could see strong to severe storms through Monday, maybe Wednesday of next week too, with high temperatures staying above average the next several days, upper 70s to low 80s through early next week. Scott?
BRCA. It used to be a random string of letters, but now it's the name of two well-known genes linked to breast cancer and ovarian cancer. A new study reveals a growing number of women know these letters and fear them. With more, here's Dr. Timothy Johnson.
When Angelina Jolie took to the national stage to talk about her double mastectomy and other preventive surgeries, the world took notice. Guiding her choice was her testing positive for a mutation in the breast cancer genes BRCA1 and 2. A BRCA genetic test identifies those at much higher risk for breast or ovarian cancer so that women can take preventive steps against these feared cancers. A new study today reveals that between 2004 and 2014, a growing number of women have been getting tested, and now it's largely a new group. In 2004, it was mostly women already diagnosed with breast or ovarian cancer. But by 2014, the tables had turned, with more women unaffected by cancer getting tested ahead of time, ahead of disease. These women tended to be younger and had a family history of breast or ovarian cancer, and yet researchers still worry that the BRCA testing may not be reaching all the right women, with only 10% of mutation carriers in the U.S. identified so far. So, if you have a history of breast or ovarian cancer in your family, it is worth a chat with your physician to see if a genetic test can help you make a wise medical choice. With this Medical Minute, I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson.
Still ahead, LSU introduced Will Wade today as the new men's basketball coach. We'll hear from him. And we'll have a reaction from the Team USA baseball team after winning their first ever WBC title.
When it comes to cleaning up the streets of Boston,
this is who I am. This is what I do. Now get me in there. He did it. And I know where the proof is.
It's ladies first. Rizzoli and Isles.
Weekends at 11 on KLAX TV.
It took a little over 10 years, but finally, the United States has won a World Baseball Classic title. Since the WBC began in 2006, the U.S. has struggled mightily in the tournament. A pair of second-round exits and a semifinal loss are all the Americans had to show for their own pastime. But not this year. The U.S. matched up against undefeated Puerto Rico in the finals, and it was off to the races early. In the third, no score. Ian Kinsler getting all that baseball, puts it up and gone, and the U.S. takes a 2-0 lead. Then to the 7th, U.S. now up by 4. Bases loaded for Brandon Crawford. He rips a single right back up the middle. 2 runs going to score. That pushes the lead up to 6, and well, that was more than enough for starter Marcus Stroman, who pitched 6 one-hit innings, didn't give up any runs to help the U.S. to the 8-0 WBC title win.
We did what we had to do. Stroman went out there and gave us his all. The players, they battled. The offense swung the bats. Hey, and we brought it home for the United States.
It's obviously a very special moment. It's different than the World Series championship, to be honest with you. I'm not going to compare the two. I think you have to keep them separate. But it was just a wonderful experience being with all these players from different organizations. Totally happy, and we're the winners.
It didn't take long for LSU to make the move to hire Will Wade as the new men's basketball coach. Wade has had a successful 2 seasons at VCU, where he won a conference championship and led the Rams to 2 NCAA tournament appearances. Wade will now serve as the 22nd basketball coach for LSU, replacing Johnny Jones. Wade is known as one of the brightest young minds in the game of college basketball today, and one who's ready to bring a new culture of success to LSU.
Will is extremely bright, smart, and driven. Now, when you combine smart and driven, you have a real success story. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you our new basketball coach here, Will Wade.
My wife's big at making lists, so we make a lot of lists on things, and we do positives and negatives and try to figure out what we're going to do. And the only negative we could come up with for LSU and Baton Rouge was that I was going to put on a lot of weight from all the good food down here.
LSU mixed it up today with an introduction, holding it in the Student Union instead of the Athletic Administration Building, clearly trying to build some energy for the program. And while one coach is getting hired, another is out of a job. John Thompson III has been let go as the head coach at Georgetown after missing the NCAA tournament for the 2nd consecutive year. Thompson led Georgetown to 8 NCAA tournament appearances and 1 Final Four, but has slumped to 2 sub-500 seasons in a row. One of the biggest debates in the NBA right now is teams resting their starters in big games. Commissioner Adam Silver sent out a league-wide memo discussing the way the teams are choosing to rest their starters as an extremely significant issue for the league, or at least their pocketbook. It's a move Spurs coach Greg Popovich has been using for years and says the science backs up his method.
The league has to understand that the science of what we do is a whole lot more sophisticated than it used to be. And we have definitely added years to people. So, it's a trade-off. You want to see this guy in this one game, or do you want to see him for 3 more years of his career?
You can see both sides of the NBA's argument. So. The Spurs probably got 3 more years out of Tim Duncan by resting him. But then you also see the fan side where they're spending $100 a ticket.
Absolutely.
You want to see the stars
You're there
play.
to see the stars.
Right. So you can see both sides.
Yep. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
Thrill seekers may soon flock to the Windy City high-rise. Details on renovations that include rappelling. Next on ABC 31 News.
Inside LSU Baseball. Brought to you by Randy Wiggins, State Farm Agent, and Take 5 Oil Change. Join us Sundays at 10 on KLAX TV.
Chicago's Willis Tower Skydeck is about to get a facelift that allows thrill seekers to unleash their inner Spider-Man. The Blackstone Group, which owns the building, is working on a $20 million renovation of the Skydeck. Plans include a glass box that would let visitors rappel down from the 103rd floor to the 102nd safely enclosed, and also a ledge for people to walk outside, clipped to a safety harness.
Sure. Why not?
Have a great night. Thanks for watching.
Looks like here you wanted to have sex with a 13-year-old girl.
I want you to have an opportunity to clear your name.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
They're calling the whole task force in.
This is a game changer.
Why won't you cooperate with the police? Are you trying to hide something?
No, Chris. What are you doing here?
Crime Watch Daily airs weekdays at 3 on KLAX TV.